so grateful for is this opportunity to be a part of this amazing experience that I've had so far, with the opportunity that the lovely guest is going to bring forward to you this afternoon. So if anybody else has anything that they're grateful for, please just come off mute and state it. Hello? Well, welcome. First, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule today to hop on this call with the, get this information that this lovely person is about to bring forward to you. While we're waiting, because we're going to get started in probably one more minute, but while you're waiting, go ahead and grab a pencil and a pen and a piece of paper to take down some notes. Because as we say in our community, and what our lovely mentor always states to us, is that note takers are money makers. And besides, you may have a question or two after the call is over, so it'll give you an idea of what you may have, you want to ask once it's over. But so go ahead and grab your pen and paper, and we'll get started in one more minute. But I want to welcome everybody this afternoon or this morning or wherever you're calling from. Just welcome you for taking time out of your schedule to join us this afternoon. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I stated earlier, my name is Rosalind, and I'm going to introduce you to the lovely guest who's going to bring you this information this afternoon. And how I know this lovely person, I've been knowing her for maybe 6 months, but honestly, it feels like forever. It feels like years that I've been knowing her. First off, she is based in Southern California. She's a mother of two. She works in corporate America. And she's also my accountability partner within our community. And she just helps me pretty much just stay on top of everything and make sure that I'm being the best me that I can possibly be. She has such an amazing energy. She's always on 1,000, and I love it because I feed off her energy. She gives me that energy to keep going every day. She's just a lovely, lovely spirit, and I just love her to death. She is someone that I like, love, and I trust wholeheartedly. And I was able to meet, because we always talk on the phone, but I was able to meet her this past weekend in person, and it's still the same way that it is. And I just love her to death. I'm sorry, just want to talk about it because she is an amazing soul. So I'm going to go ahead and let her give you this information that she shares so well, and it just fills you up in the inside. So without further ado, Tracy, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much for that beautiful welcome, Roz. Hello, everybody. Like Roz mentioned, my name is Tracy Datt. I am here in beautiful Southern California, although it's kind of burning down right now. You know, it's still beautiful. It's my home. But a little bit about me. I may have invited you to this call today, or maybe one of my other business partners have invited you to this call. So before I just really get into it, I definitely want to take the time to tell you a little bit about myself. As she mentioned, I am in corporate America. I am a mother of two. I homeschool my children. I also have small businesses, and I am also an investor. And so needless to say, I definitely have my hands in a lot of pots, which you will soon learn if you haven't already through this pandemic, that multiple streams of income, you guys, is a must. It is necessary in the current climate. It's always been necessary, but it's even more necessary now, right? So that's one of the things that I want to talk to you about today. But again, just to elaborate a little bit on me and where I stand, I am a first-generation American. My parents are from the Fiji Islands, and I am a Pacific Islander. And with that said, when they came to the States, they came and they raised us. Look, my cat wants to get in the screen all the time. It never fails. But they raised us with, you know, the American dream. And so what does that consist of? Basically that, you know, you should go to school, you should get a good education, She's Louise. You should get a good education so that you can get a job, AKA career. And if you make, a good amount of income, and if you have benefits, health insurance and paid time off, and if they offer you a 401k, then you've arrived, right? And so for a long time, you guys, I thought that I had arrived. I've been at my job now in November, it'll be 10 years I've been at my job. And so, like I said, I make a good amount of money. I've had several promotions over the years and I do all right for myself, but I'll tell you what I didn't have. I did not have time freedom. I did not have time freedom. And so I felt like, in the blink of an eye, my oldest turned 5 and I was like, oh my gosh, she's 5. Like I literally lost 5 years in the hustle and bustle of climbing that corporate ladder, right? And so I started to kind of venture out and see what was the other ways that I could be making money where maybe I didn't have to invest that much time so that I can have time with my kids. Homeschooling, was always the plan. I also home birthed my children. And so I want as much time to imprint on my children as I possibly can so that the rest of the world's imprint doesn't even matter, because our values and our morals is so strong in our household that what the outside world is saying, it's not even going to shake their tree. They're going to say, no, because me and my family do it like this. And so oftentimes, whether you have children or not, whether it's your parents, whether it's whatever it is, you got to think about your values and are they aligned with how you spend your time, right? So if your value, everybody likes to say out their mouth that God is number one, but are you only spending a couple of hours, with your relationship with God on Sunday at church? How much time do you spend praying? And is it because you don't have time, right? Are you saying that your spouse or your children are your values? And that's your value system as far as the breakdown. But then again, when you look at it, if you spend 40 to 50 hours a week at a job, maybe you're not living through your values, right? And so my goal today is 2 things. One, I want to educate you and maybe teach you some things that you never heard before, because these things that we're going to talk about today, it definitely was not taught in the public education system. Hence why I homeschool, so my kids can have one leg up. And 2 is to definitely just get you thinking about what your values are and are you living through them, okay? So we'll go ahead and get started. And again, I don't know what brought you here today. Can I ask that everyone please mute your line? There should be a microphone in the left corner of your screen. If you could just click that for me so that we could be respectful of everyone else's time as well. Thank you so much. So you may have been invited here and you don't know why you're here. You may have been invited here because you're looking for that time freedom, and maybe financially you're doing well for yourself, but you want time freedom, right? You might be here because you don't have financial freedom and you're struggling a little bit in that area. And then you might be here because hell, you need help with it all. And that's awesome too. Whatever bucket that you're in, I definitely hope that, again, you'll learn something. And if nothing else, then know how to put your value system in place and live through that and find an avenue to do so. So again, I want to talk about how money is made. Let's talk about how money is made. I'm going to swing you over here to my whiteboard so that I could draw it out for you. And there is a great author by the name of Robert Kiyosaki. You may or may not have heard of him. He wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, among many others, but that's his most popular one, so people tend to know that. But he came up with this thing called the cash flow quadrant, and it's basically going over the 4 ways that money is made legally. 4 ways that money is made legally. And so, we'll start off with the most common one that usually everyone knows. And what is that? That's an employee. That could be something, as entry level as maybe getting into a fast food, going to Starbucks, whatever the case. You could be a cashier, you could work in retail. It could be something even that maybe you went to college for. And let me ask real quick on the line, did anyone here go to traditional school? And if so, how much did you spend on that? How much was your education?
I did.
5,000.
About 20,000.
Did somebody say 5,000?
I said 25,000.
25,000. 25,000. Anybody else?
I'm probably about 50,000.
Woo! 50,000. Okay. Well, I'll put mine up here. I spent 14,000 because I didn't do traditional school. But okay, so that's we can all agree that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And so with that, and kudos to all of you, because going through school and getting an education and getting a degree takes a certain amount of discipline and commitment. And so shout out to you guys. But what I will say is that a lot of us are going to school, getting school loans and doing all of that, guys. And then oftentimes you get in a job where you don't even have enough to pay that stuff back. And again, I'm not knocking education, but I am knocking the fact that things aren't what they were back in the 80s and 90s, right? In the 90s, we were all pushed to go to school and jobs were available for the things that we were going to school for. And the truth is, that's not likely the case anymore. Next time you go to Starbucks and your barista makes you a coffee, ask them if they have a degree, and I could almost bet 90% of them do, and they still ended up working at Starbucks. And that's because of the lack of jobs in the area that they went to, okay? Anywho, so let's bring it back here. 60% of people work as an employee. What does that mean? That means they're probably working 40 hours a week for 40 years of their life. After 40 years, they expect to retire, right? They expect to retire with a nice little chunk of change, a retirement fund, maybe Social Security and things of that nature. But let's really think about that. Because the last time I checked and I went to Walmart, there was a lot of elderly people working the door, saying hello, or maybe now with COVID going on, counting how many people came through the store at one time. They're not there for fun. They're not there for fun. The fact is that they're there because they gave 40 years of their life to a job, and they were hoping that when they were done, it was going to be enough to live off of. And now what was promised to them for those 40 years of their life is not enough to live off of. So they went and got a retirement job. How does that even make sense? You're supposed to not be working when you retire, right? But they have retirement jobs. Okay, so that's the 40-40 scam is what I like to call it. I used to call it the 40-40 plan, but now I call it the 40-40 scam. Catch that. So the other thing is that you don't get to choose your association. This is a big deal, guys. Success principles say that whatever is inputted into your mind becomes your reality. So when you don't get to choose your association and you got to go to work and in the cubicle next to you is negative Nancy, always complaining about money, complaining about her husband, complaining about her kids. And then you got Jerry and Elsa over there having an affair, promoting the fact that it's okay to cheat on your spouse. And then you got, whoever else, all the association that comes with all the mumbo jumbo, 40 to 50 hours of a week, you don't get to choose who you're going to be around. You don't get to choose what's embedded in your head. And that's a really big deal. I don't know about you guys, but I want to choose who I'm around, because everyone is not allowed to share my energy. I don't care if you my blood. I don't care who you are. Everyone is not entitled to share my energy. And so we all need to bring it back to that, right? But when we're working these traditional jobs, we don't have a choice. We're around whoever they tell us to be around, because even our seating is assigned. The customers are assigned. All of that stuff is assigned, right? Okay. And then the other thing I want to mention is there's no tax breaks. So let's talk about that real quick. Especially if you live in California, they take a huge portion of your check, huge, and then they turn around and throw you crumbs at the end of the year, and then you're supposed to be happy about the fact that you got a tax return, and then, oh, hopefully you have children or some kind of write-off that you could do. But there's no tax breaks in the employment field, okay? No tax breaks. So then let's bring it down here. Then we have self-employed. Self-employed is 35% of the population. Just so we're all clear on what we're talking about, can someone give me an example of what is considered a job that's considered to be self-employed?
A barber, a beautician.
Yes, a barber and a beautician, absolutely. Thank you. Anybody else?
Uber drivers.
Uber drivers, that's a good one. That is a really good one. These are all really, really good ones. So I'm going to tell you, the misconception is that self-employed people are business owners, and they're not. And I'm going to tell you why. It does not matter if you're an Uber driver. It does not matter if you're a barber or beautician. I don't care if you make and sell your own products and soaps and lotions or whatever you're doing. You are still trading your time for money. So now instead of going to the job, you own a job. And not only are you now owning your job, matter of fact, instead of doing the 40-40 scam, you've worked yourself into an 80-20 plan. And let me tell you why. Because now, as a self-employed person, you're doing what? You're doing the HR. If you're hiring and firing, you're doing the administrative work. You're doing the marketing. You're doing the actual manual labor of whatever product you're making or whatever you're doing. You're out driving for Uber. You're out doing the barber work. You burn your hand. You can't drive. You can't cut hair. You don't make money. So whatever service you're providing, all you really did is become an independent contractor, and now you're self-employed, but you are not a business owner, my friend. You are not. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you have many things in common with the employment field. And the biggest thing you have in common is that you still trade your time for money. These two quadrants have that in common, okay? So let's bring it over here. Now let's talk about the real business owners. And I like to call it BB. I added my own little B on there because I like to call it big business, right? Because when you talk about business owners, there should be duplicatable, scalable systems in place that also leverage people to make stuff happen. Who are the people that they're leveraging? Well, let's bring it on back. They're leveraging us, the employees. Again, I'm not down on jobs. I'm still an employee right now. It's all good, but that's what it is. So a real business owner are the Waltons of Walmart, right? Why? Because it doesn't matter if they want to go take 6 months off of work and go fly around the world, their business is still running. Me and you are still going to go to Walmart because we need toilet paper. We need hair supplies. We need whatever we get from there. We all get something from Walmart. Real business owners are the owners of Target, of Amazon, and things of that nature, right? Because they are not doing what? Trading their time for money. Those are the real business owners. You guys, it's so sad because this is only 4% of the world. Only 4% of the world is actual business owners. Meanwhile, a lot of people in this category think that they're business owners, but what are they doing? Trading time for money. So I want to push that concept. Today, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about this quadrant, which is even smaller than the 4%, guys. It's only 1%. And it's I for investor. Only 1% of the world are investors. Now, I like to think it's because of misinformation or the lack thereof. Okay, so that's why, like I said, my main purpose today is to educate you because maybe nobody told you this. And at this point, if somebody did tell you, if I tell you today and it's your decision and you still decide to be in these quadrants, that's cool for you too. But I want to make sure that I educate you on whatever you may have been either not taught or misinformed on. So before we jump into it, when I say investor, what comes to mind? What do you think we're talking about here today? Did somebody say something?
Usually stocks and CDs and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Okay, so those are all really, really good things. I want to touch a little bit on stocks because especially with the recession that we're in, a lot of people definitely have leaned on stocks. Regarding CDs and 401ks, now I will give the disclaimer, I am not a financial analyst. However, I have studied financial literacy quite a bit. And I will tell you that when you decide to invest in something, one of the things you always want to research, guys, is your ROI, your return on investment. And so when you think about CDs and they're like, oh my God, we'll give you 3% back. Oh, I put 5,000 in there. You're going to give me 3% back after what? After I don't touch it for 18 months? Oh, that's grand. And a lot of people think they're winning when they do that. But you have to know that there are other ways to invest your money where not only do you get your return on investment faster, but a larger sum as well. 401ks. I was a firm believer that I had arrived when I got my 401k, you guys. I was just like, yes, I'm winning. Oh my God, this is a real career now because I get a 401k. Let's talk about that. At the beginning of 2020, when this pandemic hit, my 401k took altogether about a $7,000 hit, a $7,000 hit. I just told you guys at the top of the hour, I've been at my job for 10 years. I was upset. I've been putting into that bucket for so damn long. And then they're going to turn around. And what did they do? They took my money, invested it into companies because that's what they're doing with your 401k. They choose what company they want to invest in. They put your money there. because it's never liquid. It's never just sitting where you left it. No, it's like this invisible pot that just goes wherever they want to push it, wherever your company wants to push it. So please know that while you're investing in your 401k, your money, A, is not just sitting there, and B, they're investing it into whatever company that they want to, and there's no guarantee it'll be there tomorrow. These are facts. So let's talk about stocks. Stocks are when you're investing in companies, right? Forex is when you're investing in currencies. Stocks. The stock market is open from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. What does that mean? That if you're like me and you work your traditional job, that's Monday through Friday, you don't got time to deal with stocks. What you gonna do? Look at it on your lunch hour and forfeit your food? I don't know. If you are, that's cool, but I'm not. Forex, now with the addition of digital currency, is 24/7. 24/7 with cryptocurrency. You know, everyone knows Bitcoin. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin. With all of that going on, now you could trade on the weekends as well. Stocks are not recession proof. Forex is recession proof. So let's talk about stocks real quick. Why is it not recession proof? Because if the stock market is going down, you do not make money. You only make money when it's going up. So let me break that down, just because I don't know who my audience is, and I'd like to make sure that you guys understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. And again, I sure hope you're taking notes, guys, because I know I talk a little fast, but this is really valuable information. What you choose to do with this information is on you, but this is really valuable information. Stocks work like this. Again, it's companies. So let's say right now there was a company who was pretty cheap to invest into. Who would that be? Airline companies, cruise lines, you know, the things that are shut down. Chuck E. Cheese, you know, whatever. The things that are shut down, their value has gone down because they're not getting a lot of business right now, right? So let's say I buy it for, I don't know, $5 a share. I buy Princess Cruises for $5 a share. Until that share goes up, the price per share goes up, I'm not making money. Now, I do want to make it clear. Are there little loopholes? Sure. Are they risky as hell? Sure. If you want to play those type of games with your money, feel free. But I am telling you that the real way to make money on the stock market is if it goes up, okay? In Forex, whether a currency goes up or down, we still make money. So I want to take a second here and just explain what it is, because some of you may have never even heard about Forex. What it is foreign currency exchange. So, for example, when I go to another country, when I leave the United States, I just went to Mexico last month. When I went there, they use a currency called pesos. And so when I got there, I needed to turn in my American dollars to trade them for the Mexican peso so that I could move around, pay for my food, pay for my taxis, pay for my drinks, whatever, right? In doing so, one of my American dollars turned into 22 pesos. So now when you think about that, there are ways to make money based on the exchange rate of the currency of a country. Now, you don't need to travel to another country to do that. How? Because we can do it from our cell phones. There is an app that you download for free where you could trade currencies from different countries on your cell phone and make a profit off of the difference, okay? Let me tell you what else. You could trade stocks in the Forex market. I trade stocks regularly on the Forex market, actually, so that way, even when the stock is plummeting and going down, I am still making money. I don't care how the Dow Jones is doing. If it's not doing well, I still make money. If it's doing well, I still make money, okay? So that's what we're here to talk about today, is how to make money straight from your cell phone so you could do it wherever. And I'm gonna tell you what else about this opportunity, you guys. It doesn't care. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care what age you are. It doesn't care what your sexual preference is. It doesn't care if you got some felonies or been to jail before. None of that matters. It is and how could I forget to mention this? It is a $6.6 trillion in this industry, okay? A day. The revenue that generates in this market is $6.6 trillion a day, whereas the stocks is only 12 billion. That's a big difference. Please note that as well. So what I want to show you today is basically what Roz was talking about. We are accountability partners on an educational platform that we are both a part of. Because like with anything, you guys, education is key. I told you at the top of the hour, I'm not against education, but I am against education that we pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for that we don't even make enough to pay back for. I'm against that. But if the education is worth it and it is going to give me a return on my investment, I'm all about it. So I'd like to start off by showing you guys the school that we attend. And actually, I'd like to start off by showing you guys, we are all a part of a community called Generation 12. This is a community of Forex traders, but it's so much more than that, guys. It's so much more than that. Like I said, we have accountability partners that you journey with through this journey so that it's like a study buddy. It's honestly like a study buddy, and you become so much more than that. But we have laid out such nice videos that are how to open a demo account. So let's talk about that. A demo account is basically on that app that I mentioned, how you are going to play with fake money in the live market so that you know what you're doing before you use your real money, okay? We have a whole game plan laid out for you on your first 4 weeks of how to get to success, okay? Now let's access the Academy. This website is literally a one-stop shop, and you could do everything from it. And I'm about to show you how, because literally the wonderful Maikisha has laid out this awesome website that does everything. So here is our Academy. So you go here. This Academy consists of about 3.5 hours of content. 3.5 hours, you guys. So as long as it takes you to sit up there and watch the Titanic and you boo-hoo and you're like, oh, I'll never let go, Jack, I'll never let go. You could have learned a whole skill that was going to change your financial future, that's going to change your children and your family to come. And you could even teach your parents this. You guys, these videos are 2 to 6 minutes long, and I'm going to play one for you in just a bit, but they're 2 to 6 minutes long, and it's so simple that a kindergartner can understand it. I'm literally teaching my 10-year-old son how to do this. Here's an example of one of the videos, okay? I just want to show you real quick. Check out the graphics. This is not something that was made in your mom and dad's garage and posted on YouTube. This is a $1 billion school with over 100,000
Welcome to the
students.
IM Mastery Academy for Forex. In this course, we'll be talking about what is FRX. Forex can be professionally abbreviated as FX or FRX. This basically is the short term for foreign exchange. It is the official trading market where one can exchange different currencies across the globe. As many countries are backed by their own banks, this allows citizens to use a currency, which in turn creates an economy. The better an economy thrives, the stronger that currency can become. When anyone travels to other countries, they can participate in the foreign exchange market manually by simply exchanging their own native currency for the one they are visiting. As decades passed, the internet grew worldwide, and Forex found its way online, where traders from any place on Earth could trade currencies digitally, turning over profits from the comfort of their own homes. To give you an idea as to the size of the Forex market, the London Stock Exchange, on average, will trade daily around $7 billion US. The Tokyo Stock Exchange will trade roughly around 18 billion. And the New York Stock Exchange can trade about $22 billion daily. Forex, on the other hand, averages trades of over $5 trillion every single day. It is, without doubt, the largest and most liquid market in the entire world.
Without a doubt, the largest and most liquid market in the entire world. And who would have thought that It's not only the people in Wall Street that have access to this. It's anyone like me or you. It's the average Joe that could do this straight from their cell phone. But no one told us that in school, right? They asked us what we wanted to be after we go to college so that we could spend more money on education. Because the scam is, oh, go to school for free for the first 12 years so that they could groom you for college and groom you for having a job. Think about it, guys. You go to recess for 15 minutes, and then you go to lunch for 30 minutes, and then you have another recess for 15 minutes. They've groomed us to have jobs our entire life, because doesn't that sound like work? Your 15-minute break, and then your 30-minute lunch, and then your 15-minute break. They've literally groomed us to be employees our entire life, and that is not how we need to be living. Anywho, to get back, I always go off on a tangent. To get back to it, after each of the videos, there is what we call a confidence quiz. And the reason we call it a confidence quiz, guys, is because no one sees the answers. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to understand what you just watched. I don't care if you need to take it 5 times to understand what that 4-minute video just said. It's multiple choice, and it's basically for you to know, did you learn what you were supposed to learn from the video that you just watched, right? So again, each of these 2 to 6 minute videos make up about 3.5 hours of content, so you can learn what you're doing. With that said, there is a couple of ways to earn money while you learn. One of the ways to do so is through these strategies. Now, when you sign up with the school, you get all of these strategies included. All of these strategies included. So let's talk about it. Let's check out GoldCut, for example. This is where they are telling you what numbers to input in that cell phone app so that, and look, each one has like tutorial videos, how to subscribe to notifications so that it'll come straight to your phone, guys. Like, this is no joke. It comes straight to your phone. So, MA crosses have no signals. Let me find you something with a signal. Does gold have a signal? Okay, so here's a perfect example. Here, the XAU USD is gold. They're telling you where to get in. TP stands for take profit. They're telling you where to get out, take your money and get out. And they're telling you a stop loss. What is a stop loss? The stop loss is telling you what number to put, where in case the market does not go the way that they predicted and it goes the opposite way, it pulls you out of the trade so you have a minimal loss as opposed to just staying in there blindly, right? Okay, so this is an example of one of the many strategies that you get with your tuition. Here's another one. We also have Go Live. Let me show you what Go Live is. So you know how you could be on social media and go live? I mean, if you're my Facebook friend, you see me, I'm going live all the time. And you know how you can get on there and like type and chat with people? So as the person is talking, they can answer you. So if someone's like, oh, Tracy, your earrings are so cute. I'm like, oh, thank you, girl. You know, you could do the same thing. But with millionaires, these are 180 educators that are 6 to 7 figure traders. What does that mean? That means that in a month, they made 6 to 7 figures off of trading alone. Here is one of my favorites, Kimberly Torres. She had 66,000 views, you guys. If she wasn't making money, 66,000 people would not be sitting up and watching her, okay? Because what are you gonna watch her for if she ain't making you money? So the way that this works is there's pretty much like a TV guide. So check this out. Here's the TV guide to say, okay, Manny, who I love as well, comes on at 8 a.m. Well, I'm kind of working at 8 a.m. and so I missed Manny, right? No worries. I click his name and then I go down here and here are all of his recorded sessions. So I don't have to miss a thing. So on these sessions, not only are they giving you training, but they're giving you live trade ideas. Live trade ideas. Again, just the numbers that you could take and put into your phone to make some money. So this is what the Academy is about. This is the school that many of us go to. Now, on top of the school, I'll bring it back to here. We have Generation 12, which is our community. There, you have a personal coach to help guide you. There, you have an accountability partner who got in.
Oh, that's hard. I didn't know what the hell.
Did you have something to say? Okay, must have been an accident. All good. So you have an accountability partner who basically started this journey at the same time as you, so you guys can journey through this together. We read success books because, of course, any part of success, 90% is mindset. So we read the same books. We actually have a book club. We do yoga and meditation. We have all kinds of daily pop-up trainings. I mean, this community, seriously, you guys, you can't go wrong. Like, I've never been around such an uplifting, positive group of people. And not only that, but you have to get your mind right to be able to trade, because mindset is everything. Mindset is key. If your mind ain't right, you're not about to make money on these markets, y'all. So that's super duper important. But basically, whether you're in the category where you want to learn what you're doing so that you can go ahead and have this skill that no one can take away from you. You could teach it for generations to come. Or let's say you're not in that bucket and you're like, you know what, I hated school and I don't want to learn nothing. You could just copy and paste. You could just copy and paste the signals that the millionaires give you and still make money. So whether you're person A or person B, either way, you could really make money off of this opportunity. I myself can give you my personal testimony that I have made money at the park playing with my kids. I've made money in the airport going to Mexico, being on the beach of Mexico. That was paid for by this opportunity. You could do it anywhere, anytime, as long as your cell phone has a signal. That's it. As long as you have a smartphone, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you could get this going and run up your bag, you guys. This has definitely changed my life, and I know that it could change just about anybody's. What I will tell you, though, is that I know for a fact that usually there's like 3 types of people on this call, right? And the first kind of person is like, yes, oh yes, this sounds like something I can do. Oh my God, who do I talk to? Where do I go? How do I get in this? Let me get in your community. Boop. Awesome. If you are that go-getter, if you are that winner, and you knew that you was not made to be mediocre, and you know that you don't need to be giving the man 40 hours of your week to get by, to live paycheck to paycheck and end up at a retirement job at Walmart like Sam and Joe do, then kudos to you. And I look forward to seeing you in our community. Get back to the person who invited you to this call. If you are person B and you're skeptical because you've seen or heard things like this before, you just don't know, and you have questions or whatever. Look, I'm welcoming questions. I'm all about questions, because at least if you got questions that you listen to something I said, because then you wrote down a question, right? So cool, at least you listened. But I will say that honestly, there's really nothing more to say based on the fact that I just told you everything. There's really nothing more to say. Any question that you would have outside of that is going to be taught to you in the academy. But again, if you have a question, you can feel free to get back to the person who put you on this call. Thank them for putting you on this call, because if nothing else, then I know that you learned something, okay? And then ask your question. So then there's person C. Person C is like, oh my God, she just wasted my time. Who is this person? Look at this false information. She down talked my 401k. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I will not apologize, because the lies that have been fed to you all of your life that I just debunked in one conversation, you should be happy for. I feel like you should be thankful. And so I won't apologize. I did not waste your time. Matter of fact, I schooled you a little bit. And whether you come to your senses today or tomorrow or next week, hopefully it doesn't take you that long, because I hope you won't be the one greeting me at the Walmart door. And if you will, I'll still be nice and say hi. It's all good. But you could have been running around the world with me making money from your cell phone. So remember I said that. Anywho, are there any questions for me before I end this? Going once? Going twice? Okay, well, I'm going to assume there are no questions, you guys. So I'd like to thank you for your time, regardless of what you took from this. I know you took something, even if it was just looking at me. I'm just fine. Okay, I love you guys. Peace and love. Have an amazing rest of your weekend.